Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Ram Ram
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Hare Hare
Krishna Krishna Hare Hare
Ram
Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna
Hare
Krishna Krishna
Krishna
Hare Hare
Krishna Hare Hare
Hare Ram
Hare Ram Hare
Ram Hare
Hare Hare
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna Krishna
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Hare Hare
Hare
Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram
Hare
Ram
Ram
Hare Hare
Hare
Hare
Ram
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna Hare 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 Ram
Ram
Ram Hare
Ram
Hare
Hare
Krishna Krishna
Hare
Krishna
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 Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare
Hare
Hare Krishna
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 Krishna Hare Hare
Hare
Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna
Krishna Krishna
Krishna Krishna Hare Hare
Hare
Hare Ram
Hare Hare
Ram Hare Hare
Krishna
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare
Hare
Hare Ram Ram Hare
Krishna
जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्री
कृष्णा वाञ्छा कल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। नामाचार्य शिला हरिदास ठाकुर की जय। शिला प्रभुपाद की जय। हरे कृष्णा एवरीवन, दंडवत प्रणाम। प्लीज एक्सेप्ट माय humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and Guru Maharaj. This is Premanandini Devidasi from Ashburn, Virginia. Please forgive me for stopping your ecstatic chanting. I welcome you all to the morning Bhagavatam class. Uh, I'm going to read a quote by Her Grace Nitai Sevini Mataji. No act of love or service goes unseen by Krishna. His grace finds you even when you expect nothing in return. Bhagavatam speaker will be joining shortly. Meanwhile, may I know who all have joined the call today?
Hare Krishna Mataji and Hare Krishna to all the devotees. This is Surinder from Maryland. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Surinder Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and Guru Maharaj. Thank you so much for joining the call, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Mataji and Hare Krishna to all the devotees on this call. This is Geeta from Maryland. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Gita Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and Guru Maharaj. Welcome to the call, Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, this is Amritamani Devidasi. Dandavat Pranam to you and all the assembled devotees. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to Guru Maharaj. Hare Krishna.
Dandavat Pranam Amritamani Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and Guru Maharaj. Thank you so much for joining.
Hare Krishna, Premanandi Mataji and all the assembled devotees, Dandavat Pranam, Shri Prabhupada ki jai, Guru Maharaj ki jai. This is Shambarasika Devidasi and Nikunja Das from Germantown, Maryland.
Hare Krishna, Shamrasika Mataji and Nikunjaras Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and Guru Maharaj. Thank you so much for joining, Mataji and Prabhuji. I see that our speaker Prabhu has joined. I'm gonna stop welcoming people on the call. I'm gonna, read today's verse number and hand over the call to Prabhuji. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji Dandavat Pranam. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and Guru Maharaj. Hare Krishna, everyone. Welcome to Nitya Harinam Sangha for morning Bhagavatam session. Today we are extremely fortunate to have His Grace Ram Giridhari Prabhuji. Prabhuji is joining us from India. He is going to enlighten us on Canto 8, Chapter 22, Text 1. Hare Krishna Prabhuji, whenever you are ready, you may take over the call.
Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranams, all Gush Prabhupada. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiraye Nashtaprayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtaki. We are going to read from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 8, Chapter 22, text number 1 and 2. We'll do the first two verses of this chapter. This is a chapter titled Bali Maharaj Surrenders His Life. Sri Shuka Uvacha Evam Viprakrito Rajan Balir Bhagavata Suram Vidyamanopi Abhinnatma Pratyaha Viklavam Vacha. Translation: Sukadeva Goswami said, O king, although the Supreme Personality of Godhead was superficially seen to have acted mischievously toward Bali Maharaj, Bali Maharaja was fixed in his determination. Considering himself not to have fulfilled his promise, he spoke as follows. Text 2. Shri Balir Uvacha Yadyuttama Bhavan Mammeritam Vacho Vyalikam Suravarya Manyate Karom Yiritam Tanna Bhavatet Pralambanam Padam Trityam Kurushrishni Me Nijam. Bali Maharaja said, O best personality of Godhead, most worshipable for all the demigods, if you think that my promise has become false, I shall certainly rectify matters to make it truthful. I cannot allow my promise to be false. Please, therefore, place your third lotus footstep on my head. Purport. Bali Maharaja could understand the pretense of Lord Vamanadeva, who had taken the side of the demigods and come before him as a beggar. Although the Lord's purpose was to cheat him, Bali Maharaj took pleasure in understanding how the Lord will cheat his devotee to glorify the devotee's position. It is said that God is good, and this is a fact. Whether he cheats or rewards, he is always good. Bali Maharaja therefore addressed him as Uttama Shloka, Your Lordship. He said, You are always praised with the best of selected verses. On behalf of the demigods, you disguised yourself to cheat me, saying that you wanted only 3 paces of land, but later you expanded your body to such an extent that with the 2 footsteps you covered the entire universe. Because you are working on behalf of your devotees, you do not regard this as cheating. Never mind, I cannot be considered a devotee. Nonetheless, because although you are the husband of goddess of fortune, you have come to me to beg. I must satisfy you to the best of my ability. So please do not think that I wanted to cheat you. I must fulfill my promise. I still have my body. When I place my body for your satisfaction, please put your third step on my head. Since the Lord had covered the entire universe with 2 steps, one might ask how Bali Maharaja's head could be sufficient for his third step. Bali Maharaja, however, thought that the possessor of wealth must be greater than the possession. Therefore, although the Lord has taken all his possessions, the head of Bali Maharaja, the possessor, would provide adequate place for the Lord's third step. Om Ajnana-timirandasya Jnananjana-shalakayam Chakshurun militam yenam Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaham Nama Om Vishnu Padayam Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Sunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrindam Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So we have a wonderful chapter to learn from. This chapter where Bali Maharaja surrenders his life teaches us one of the basic fundamental aspect of dharma. Tapas saucham daya satyam. Austerity, cleanliness, mercifulness, and truthfulness are 4 legs of dharma. And according to Srimad Bhagavatam, that in this Kali Yuga, out of the 4 legs, 3 legs are broken. And dharma is tightening on only 1 leg. What that leg is a leg of truthfulness. Austerity, cleanliness, and mercy are completely gone in Kali Yuga. The question can be asked, does that mean truthfulness exists? The answer is, so long as the words of acharyas are still doing rounds when we refer them, words of Vedic literature, when we repeat them, truthfulness have some hope to survive. So, even though Kali Yuga is full of faults, just because of the presence of devotees who glorifies Vedic literature or presence of the words of wisdom from the pages of Vedic literatures, truthfulness prevails. Because Vedas are called Apaurushaya. Purusha means human. Apaurusha means that which is not belong, that which is not born with the help of human. That which is eternal, that is called Vedas. And as much as the Supreme Personality of Godhead is infallible, as much as Krishna is beyond doubts, the Vedic literature are also like that. So, we are going to learn wonderful lessons from this particular chapter. The context is Bali Maharaja gave the promise to give 3 pieces of land to Vamanadev. And Vamanadev has already kept 2 steps, one in the material world, one in the heavenly planets. So, what is left is Bali Maharaja's head, according to Bali Maharaj. And there's an interesting logic has been given. The possessor of the wealth is considered as superior to possession. So Jayadeva Goswami sings, Chalayasi Vikramane Balimad Bhutavamanam Padanakanira Janita Janapavanam Keshavadrita Vamana Rupam Jaya Jagadisha Hare Jaya Jagadisha Hare Chalayasi Vikramane Balim Atbhuta Vamana. Meaning, who have assumed the form of a dwarf Brahmana. Hey Vamanadeva, you have assumed the form of a dwarf Brahmana. By your massive steps, you have deceived Bali Maharaj. And in the process, not only you delivered Bali Maharaj, because of your nail piercing the sky, Ganges water started coming from heavenly planets to the earthly planets. That is why Ganges emanates from the Lord's lotus feet. I mean, technically because of the piercing of the sky by the Lord. So, Jayadeva Goswami Pada is offering obeisances to Vamanadev. So, Bali Maharaja is offering his head as a 3rd step, by which Bali Maharaj has got a very, very special place, very, very special arrangement, very, very, very special deal from the Supreme Lord. The deal of the Lord becoming gatekeeper for Bali Maharaj's place in Sutala planet. So we are going to learn some sets of lessons from this current context, and these examples, these reflections will help us apply them in our spiritual growth. The very first one is about the special quality of a devotee. Here, Bali Maharaja has been glorified as a devotee. But those of you who have heard the previous sets of chapters and also the discussions in the Samudra Manthan pastime, Bali Maharaja gave hard time to demigods. Bali Maharaja belonged to Asura Vamsa. So how come we associate this title of a devotee? In case of Prahlad Maharaj, we understand. Because Prahlad Maharaj exhibited various qualities. He constantly chanted, glorified the Supreme Lord. But what is so great about Bali Maharaj, that he has been given the position of a devotee. Srila Prabhupada writes in the purport that Bali Maharaja could understand the pretense of Vamanadeva. Bali Maharaja took pleasure in understanding the Lord's position. So he is exhibiting that quality, and because of this one gesture, he gets a devotee status. And Bali Maharaj hence is glorified for his Atma Nivedanam principle. Externally, he may have his own quotients, but the moment he stood by a principle of dharma, the moment he kept his words, his promise to the Supreme Lord, independent of whatever the Supreme Lord's behavior was, Bali Maharaj was given the title devotee. From the life of Bali Maharaj, so many lessons can be learned. How one can apparently overlook Guru's advice if they are against Dharma, and how one is supposed to be firmly fixed in one's understanding, which is in line with Dharma. So we are going to have 3 sets of reflection. The first set of reflection is about 8 attributes of intelligence. what is considered as intelligence and its 8 attributes. Because Bali Maharaj did not take the advice of Sukracharya, and he really conducted in a manner that of an intelligent person. So, this 8 attributes of intelligence that we are going to speak is expected of every devotee, is expected of every learned man, is expected of somebody who is subscribing to the science of Krishna consciousness, is expected of a practicing devotee, and that way the spirituality will thrive. So the first principle, the attribute of intelligence is such that if we are not going to exhibit these attributes, in spite of we knowing the subject matter, we will be classified as ignorant. Because a learned man's credibility is in his application, not by his just knowledge. Just because someone is knowledgeable does not give him the privilege, does not give him the title of a learned man, because knowing is not enough, rather, application is the essence. So, these 8 aspects of intelligence, attributes of intelligence that I'm going to talk about, is actually from Ramayana. Between Angada and Hanuman, this conversation has happened. So, very interesting. This is going to be my first reflection, and after I say this 8 attributes, you will understand how Bali Maharaj was behaving in a very prudent manner, so that he could be given the title of a devotee. Number 1, inclination to hear what others have to say. Number 2, the capacity to hear what others have to say. Number 3, ability to comprehend the basic meaning of what others have to say. Good memory, capacity to reason in favor of a proposition, capacity to reason against a proposition, deep insight into the meaning of what others say, and true wisdom. These 8 things are considered as 8 attributes of intelligence. The way Bali Maharaj conducted himself, you will see how Bali Maharaj, after he made the promise to Vamanadev, he was steadfastly steady in keeping up that promise, and eventually he got the Lord's favor. So I repeat those 8 points again. Inclination to hear what others have to say. Meaning, in our lives, a learned person are those ones who first hears before they speak. In fact, last 2-3 days, I've been speaking about this point in almost 2-3 forums. This is the 3rd or 4th class I'm talking about this Because all of us who are classified as or who are claiming ourselves to be practicing devotees, we need to subscribe to these attributes. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has demonstrated these principles in his preaching mission. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he was in Banaras, when Prakashananda Saraswati and all the other Mayavadi sannyasis, when they were assembled to chant Vedanta, at that time they were accusing Chaitanya Mahaprabhu for not studying Vedanta. And in that context, several things have happened, but these 8 attributes Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu exhibited. He had the inclination to hear what others have to say, even if they speak nonsense. So one moment you have heard others, and moment you have the capacity to hear others and comprehend them and have a very good memory, remember them, then you reason in favor of them, reason against them, and try to understand the deep insight by revealing the true wisdom of Vedic science. You will be able to capture everyone's heart. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu literally transformed the entire cloud of Mayavadis to become a favorable devotees. They were all hardcore Vedantists. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, by his able conduct, he could easily convince them and make them a practicing devotee. So even in Bali Maharaj's case, Sukracharya was against. Several people were concerned. But Bali Maharaj, knowing the Supreme Lord, it is interesting that he still stood by his promise and he became one of the Bhagavatas. So my first reflection hence is that in our Krishna consciousness journey, we are expected to be behaving intelligently. Intelligence is the weapon with which we will kill the ego. Intelligence is the weapon with which we subdue the unruly mind. Intelligence illuminated by divine knowledge is a very important tool for a practicing devotee. So Bali Maharaj, utilizing his intelligence, he could have completely misbehaved. Bali Maharaj could have argued, could have done everything, legally possible, saying that, he was cheated or whatever. But he knew, even though he was a demon, he knew that the Lord is favoring his dear devotees. And he knew that at no point in time he can overcome the Lord. Because he has seen what happened in his great-grandfather's family. Because Bali Maharaj is great-grandson of Prahlad Maharaj. So, when people know history and have intelligence properly illuminated, they can create histories. So, we as a practicing devotees are expected to understand these 8 attributes, to not become blind followers of Srila Prabhupada. The reason I said these 8 attributes is because Bali Maharaj was not a blind disciple for Sukracharya. Bali Maharaj is someone who used his intelligence, which we call as independently thoughtfulness. This independent thoughtfulness is something that is needed for a servant of the Supreme Lord. Blind followers means we are stupids. Blind following will only ditch us. So this is the first reflection. The second reflection in this episode is, or in this current context is, definition of success. The material definition of success is that we are at the winning side. We are at the happiness side. We are at the profitable side. Then that is considered as success. But the real definition of success is we are at the righteous side. That is success. So, to change the definition from winning side, happy side, profitable side, we should switch to we are on the side of righteousness. What is at the side of righteousness? Whether I win or I lose, I should be on the side of righteousness. Then the net result is success. That's not how we define success in the material world. Let's take the example of Vritrasura. If you have studied Vritrasura's pastime, Vritrasura is having a fight with Indra. Even though we call the name Vritrasura, he is actually a devotee. So, in that context, final fight between Indra and Vritrasura, who won the fight? Indra. But who succeeded at the end was Vritrasura. That's exactly what Vritrasura is speaking. Apparently, you may win the battle or you may win the war, but I win the battle. I may have lost it to you, my dear Indra, but note that I am going to go to Krishna ahead of you. So the message here is very clear. In our journey in Krishna consciousness, always choose the side of righteousness, irrespective of whatever may be the outcome. Because the choice of righteousness has got the power to penetrate every layer of obstacle. Dharmo rakshati rakshitaha. Dharmena hina pashubir naranam. Pashubir samanam. Dharmo rakshati rakshitaha means if you protect dharma, dharma will protect you. If you look at the history, those who stood by righteousness, they were victorious. Second example is Ambarish Maharaj. Durvasa Muni thought that he is powerful and he cursed Ambarish Maharaj. And in return, what was Ambarish Maharaj's reaction? folded hands, he just bowed down. And the net result, we know the story of Ambarish Maharaj. Bali Maharaj is glorified for Atma Nivedanam. Ambarish Maharaj is glorified for all the Navavida Bhakti in one person. Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnor, Smaranam, Padasevanam, Archanam, Mandanam, Dasyam, Sakyam, Atma Nivedanam, all the 9 things, 9 attributes, 9 aspects of devotional service was exhibited by Ambarish Maharaj. So hence the second reflection is about definition of success. It is the duty of every practicing devotee to teach this to the younger children. Otherwise, we are in a rat race where success is defined in terms of external happiness, profitability, and winning the race. One time, a group of mentally challenged children were participating in a sports event. So in that sports event, there were 8 or 10 children chosen for a running race. So naturally, you all know what a running race is. Whoever comes first, they win. Maybe first, second, and third. First prize, second prize, third prize. So all the 10 children, they were on the line. On your march, get set, go. So all of them started running in their own, pace. Just little ahead of the starting line, when the kids were running, one of the child or one of the, participant fumbled, fell down, and hurt himself very badly. This is a running race. The whole stadium is witnessing this. So one child fell down, and all the other 9 children, they stopped. They came back to this child who fell down, lifted him up, and all the 10 of them held their hand together and walked towards the finish line. The whole stadium stood up and clapped their hands. And they learned a very interesting lesson by this simple gesture. The reason I'm saying this is, we see even amongst devotees, we are envious, we are greedy, we are competitive, we are extraordinarily possessive to the extent we are. But here, in case of Bali Maharaj, he has understood one principle, that this boy is none other than the Supreme Lord. History is witness that you can't win him. And very importantly, he has made a promise, come what may, I should live up to my promise. And with that, whatever may be the outcome, The outcome may be that he was going to lose his own kingdom. The outcome may be that he was going to face some apparent challenge because he stood by his principles of dharma, righteousness. He is classified as a successful devotee. Tukaram Maharaj life example, Janabai life example. You can take so many life examples. Every sampradaya there are some stories. How great people have a highest level of integrity. Not just truthfulness, not just being righteous. They have a very highest sense of integrity. Over here, in this current context, Bali Maharaj giving his head, surrendering to the lotus feet of Vamanadev, tells us where does success lie. So if we ought to be successful, better be righteous rather than anything otherwise. That is why Srimad Bhagavatam says that the real dharma, dharmam tu sakshat bhagavat pranitam. He says the real devotion means giving up all the upadhis and tat paratyena nirmalam hrishikena hrishikesa sevanam bhakti ruchyate. So my second definition is about the definition of success. Third and the last one is about the principle of truthfulness. One of the most difficult ones and an important one. A Vaishnava is known as a gentleman, and the quality of gentleman is words given. If you see history, whether it is Harishchandra, whether it is Dronacharya, whether it is Yudhishthira Maharaj, you take any great personalities. When you describe about those personalities' qualities, you will hear about their truthfulness. Dronacharya made a promise. The day Ashwatthama is going to be not in the war, I will withdraw. So when Ashwatthama elephant was killed by Yudhishthira Maharaj, Krishna made Yudhishthira Maharaj to say Ashwatthama ataha kunjaraha. But the prelude is, before even killing that elephant, whose name was Ashwatthama, Krishna told Yudhishthira Maharaj, you just tell Ashwatthama died. Dronacharya will live. There is a reference, I do not have direct access to it, but I have heard from bona fide sources that Yudhishthira Maharaj's chariot would always be 2 feet above the ground, because Yudhishthira Maharaj never told a lie. So when Krishna asked Yudhishthira Maharaj that you please tell that Ashwatthama has died, so Yudhishthira Maharaj hesitated. And he said that I have never told a lie, Krishna. How can I say this? What you are saying is not true. So Krishna arranged for Ashwatthama the elephant to be killed. And Krishna tricked. When Yudhishthira Maharaj was proclaiming Ashwatthama, the elephant, has died. So Krishna blew the conch shell so that Dronacharya could hear Ashwatthama has died. And just as soon as he heard, Dronacharya heard from Yudhishthira Maharaj, he said Yudhishthira Maharaj is such a dharmavan, such a dharmishta. He has never spoken lie, so if he has said, it will be truth only. So he left the war field. It is said that the chariot, which was 2 feet above the ground, touched the ground. And many unscrupulous people say it is because of the lie spoken by Yudhishthira Maharaj. But the reality is, it is because of the hesitation of Yudhishthira Maharaj, who hesitated to say what Krishna had asked us to tell. Because there is a higher principle which is called every word of the Lord is Veda. The Lord is beyond truth and untruth. The Lord is beyond dharma and adharma. The Lord is beyond all the dualities. One should know that when the Lord has told you to do it, you just do it. No second question. Of course, do it with proper understanding. And here the understanding is, when the Lord is saying, He is saying for a purpose of protecting dharma, Yudhishthira Maharaj should have done it. Coming back to the context, the truthfulness is the abhushana, is an ornament of a Vaishnava. That is why Srila Prabhupada used to always say, a Vaishnava is a gentleman, and gentleman means one who can keep up his promise. That is why there is a usage called gentleman promise. What is gentleman promise? I don't change my words. The entire Sakshi Gopal pastime that happened in Orissa is based on gentleman promise. And the Lord became witness, and Lord came for witness. So a promise is a promise, irrespective of the other person's behavior, is something that we learn from Bali Maharaj. And just because of that, Bali Maharaj got the status of a devotee. So in our Vaishnava relationships, we need to make sure that we speak truth. And the way truth is supposed to be spoken is explained in 17th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, shloka number 15. Anudvega karam vakyam satyam priyahitam chayad swabhyaya vyachanam chaiva vanmayam tava uchyate. The austerity of speech lying in 5 things. Satyam, truthfulness, speaking in truth. Priyam, pleasing. Priya means beneficial. Hitam, pleasing. Swabhyaya vyachanam chaiva. Always reciting from the Vedic literature. Truthfulness, pleasing, beneficial, always reciting Vedic literature. One should be ready to speak, that speech is called austerity of speech. That speech is called speech in the mode of goodness, because it is not agitating to others. Austerity of speech consists in speaking words that are truthful, pleasing, beneficial, not agitating to others, and also in regularly reciting Vedic literature. So, the third principle that we are discussing today is about Bali Maharaja's conduct of staying with truth and behaving like a gentleman. So, in our lives, we should learn, we should create a community, we should create an ecosystem where we are absolutely, honestly truthful, absolute transparency, absolute honesty, by which devotional sentiments are very strongly nurtured. So, the truthfulness in a devotee's life happens to be one of the abhushna. Titikshava karunika suhrda sarvadehinam ajata shadruva santa sadhava sadhubhushana. Suhrda sarvadehinam, always looking at the welfare of everyone. And you get welfare only when you speak truth. History never has any situation where by non-truthful words somebody got benefited. Maybe they would have got benefited temporarily, but long-term benefit is achieved only when you speak truth. That is why those practicing devotees always are interested in subscribing to the 17.15 Bhagavad Gita. Satyam priyahitam chayat swabhyaya vyasanam chaiva vanmayam tavuchyate. So in our shloka learning today, we learned 3 sets of principles. The first set of reflection is about the 8 attributes of intelligence, which is ability and inclination to hear what others have to say, capacity to hear what others have to say, comprehend to hear what others have to say, having a good memory, having capacity to talk for a proposition in favor of it and against the proposition, and last but not least, deep insights and true wisdom. These are all considered as 8 attributes of intelligence, because of which one's conduct is rewarded, one reaches towards his successful, happy, victorious destination. The second reflection is about that we discussed the definition of success, what success is in the life of a devotee. And third, we discussed about the truthfulness. We can discuss about truthfulness, as much as we discuss, it will be, we will be falling short of it. But this entire Atma Nivedanam principle by Bali Maharaj was exhibited because he stood by his promise. So be careful when you make a promise to Krishna, when you make a promise to a Vaishnava, please fulfill them. Sometimes people say that we have some health issues, some family issues, some sort of mental imbalance. So in our village, some elders used to say, please remember, if you have made any promise to Krishna not fulfilled, maybe these are all indications that Krishna is reminding you that you have to fulfill a promise. Because you told Krishna, I'll give you donation. You tell Krishna, I will give you so and so. Better give him. Otherwise, we'll have to face the consequences. So, to conclude the entire discussion, Bali Maharaj has completely demonstrated his righteous behavior apparently by losing his own kingdom. So we will stop here and take up some questions. If there are any questions or comments, I'll be happy to respond. Granthara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Nitai Gaura Premanande, Hari Hari Bol. Any questions or comments? Let us discuss. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. Thank you so much for explaining these verses so nicely and then giving us bullet points. I'm going to go back and listen to the class again, especially the last 8 points that you mentioned and your stress on truthfulness. That is, which is very difficult in this age and time, but yes, something to definitely seriously ponder upon. So I'm gonna hold my questions, Prabhu. I'm gonna open the floor for anyone who has any comments or questions for Prabhuji. Please go ahead. Dandavat Pranam.
Dandavats. Okay. Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami writes in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Krishna consciousness is simple for simple minded, and it's very complicated and difficult for those who are crooked. So, being truthful, as much as it sounds or it may appear to be a difficult one, I'm not trying to exclude myself into this sickness of not always being truthful. I'm also part of this world. I have my own conditioning, and I agree with you in terms of how truthfulness is something. Not sure if it is even really possible, but I have seen many devotees by just remaining truthful. They're very happy and simple. Jokingly, one devotee mentioned, those who are truthful need less memory. Only those who are crooked has to have more memory because they need to remember to whom what lie has been told. So those of us who want to practice this principle of truthfulness, we encourage in our congregation, we encourage in our youth wing this principle of truthfulness quite strongly by creating our own simple rule where at least amongst us, at least amongst guru and disciple, mentor and students, counselor and counselee, the Bhakti Vriksha leader and the participants, we should have some close knit forum where I am able to enjoy the light hearted, transparent communication where there is no mincing of words, no flowery words, or no cover up, just simply truth. And that experience is very pleasing. So, maybe in our office, maybe in our relative circle, maybe in our outside social place, we may not be completely, truthful for whatever reasons because of our own complications. But at least we should have such and such Vaishnava relationship where we are able to, imbibe these quality of truthfulness. So thank you all so much. If there are no further questions, then probably we can end the class.
Yeah, Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Yeah,
Hare
so
Krishna.
yeah, Prabhu, just the problem is like when you always speak truth, then you always get in trouble because you are honest and it's not easy to remain a truthful person. This world is kind of it's so complicated that yeah, but I like that one point and I really relate with that because if you don't have to remember anything. If you always speak truth, then you don't have to put any efforts in trying to remember what you have told a certain person because you are going to speak. It just comes naturally when you have that habit of speaking truth. Only for people who are complicated and they have different platforms and different, for them they have to actually remember what they have told whom, and then like there's a lot of complicated wiring in their brain. So that one point I really like, Prabhu. Yes, that's so true. But yeah,
There is a place called Auroville in near Pondicherry. I'm not sure how many of you know them. So I have never been there, but I've just heard. Inside that ashram, they have a very close knitted community. They have something called as barter system, which used to be the trend earlier. Now, if you go and ask anyone, I will give you 1 kg of sugar. You in return give me, 1 kg of, rice flour or wheat flour or anything. You'll say, oh no, the price is not same. Sugar is very expensive. That atta is cheaper. But that's not how in a barter system works. Demand and supply used to be very nicely dealt in a community like this, where profitability is not the focus. The focus is how we can help each other and remain coexist in a community. I have not seen that. The point is that sometimes we need to facilitate in a close knit arrangement. Maybe our upbringing, our schooling, our situation where truthfulness was difficult. But at least we students of Bhagavatam, can we facilitate a very positive, truthful, light-hearted community for our children? Can our children be truthful within the family? Can we just be truthful to our own children? Can the children be truthful to the parents? Can we have a truthful relationship between devotees? It's not very complicated. It is difficult. Nobody is saying it's easy, but it is definitely something that we can try and so at some point in time we will succeed. In fact, one of the hope in devotional life is people think that devotees are truthful. And truthful is not only what you speak, it is also about how you conduct yourself, and it is in line with the Vedic literature. So it becomes very, very encouraging in fact, when you ever see a truthful person, you feel like immediately bowing down, surrendering unto him, and opening up your heart, because you know he's not going to take undue advantage of him speaking truth to you, or him being a truthful person. So it's very important. I mean, it's
yeah,
difficult, but at some point I'm going to try.
yeah. And Prabhu, is it okay to, if you want to avoid, if you are in a situation where you will speak, you will be forced to not say what you want to say, but just lie or make up something, is it okay just to walk away or to just avoid that situation? Because that's what I do when I find myself in a place where I'll have to lie. I just avoid, or I just walk away.
That is
I
one
don't respond.
strategy.
I just
That is
avoid.
one strategy we can begin there, and at least you can be not party to lie. That is why we have a privilege of I am abstaining from voting, which means I have no opinions, because anyway both the parties are untruthful. So you have always abstinence. You can stay away, you can move away. This is definitely something that as a strategy we can adopt. In fourth canto Srimad Bhagavatam, in Sati and Lord Shiva's conversation, and Sati and Daksha episode, in one place Prabhupada explains that if you are not able to um, if you are not able to fix the untruthful or dharmic behavior, you better leave the place, because witnessing untruthful on non-dharmic activities, you are also implicated.
Yes, Prabhu. And I really, really appreciate your bringing up the point of integrity in character. Like lying cannot be just like you are saying things that are not true. But even like you say something, but internally or in your private chambers, you are actually following what you don't speak, what you preach. So that is also like being truthful within inside. Like inside, we should know in our heart that we are in private chambers. So that's also a point, Prabhu. I'm going to note it down and I'm going to listen to your class.
Thank you. If there are no further questions, any other questions?
Prabhuji, Dandot Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada and Guru Maharaj. Thank you,
Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, for a wonderful class. You always bring so many wonderful points and reflections. It's such a joy to hear you before the beginning of our workday. Prabhuji, my question is, you brought up two contrasting points. One is how Bali Maharaj was truthful to his word, and then you mentioned about how when Krishna asked Yudhishthira to tell a lie, he did not. And that so should we understand that now truthfulness is based on the relationship with the absolute. So here if we look at Lord Ram's character and Krishna's mood, Lord Ram is always following duty and all the rules. But Lord is our Supreme Lord wants to break rules for a bigger purpose, for a better purpose. We have seen that in this Ashwadhama episode. Or even Bali Maharaj was also kind of tricked because he was initially he was like 3 steps is enough if you can't be greedy, but then he took off everything. We know other instances where Jayadratha, the sun was covered and he is coming out. So there are many instances where the Lord is not following the material rules for a bigger purpose. So should we understand that the ends justify the means?
I am driving car in a highway and my speed limit is 80 miles per hour. And the car that I'm driving is 120 miles per hour in an 80 mile per hour road. Police have to stop me. How they can stop me? They have to drive 130 miles per hour. Because I'm already running 120, if they have to stop me, if they have to slap a ticket, if they have to catch me, because I'm running away from them, so do we see the police as breaking a rule, or he is seen as somebody who is protecting the rule? I'll give one more example. Ambulances does not stop in red lights. So Krishna, whatever he does falls under either ambulance mode or police mode. And we cannot call ourselves always ambulance and police, because we are Aam Admis, we are regular people. So if Krishna has to fix us, he has to use various tactics, various techniques. We have espionage, we have spy agents in others' army. Why? Is it legal? May not be. The problem is that we should not generalize we should not go and hide behind those scenarios and justifying our acts. Krishna's acts are justified because Krishna's rules, formula, and his rules and regulations are on a different frame. Because he is the one who makes the rule, and he is the one who governs the rule, and he is the rule. That is why Prabhupada explains in Bhagavad Gita, in one place is explained that, what is Mauna Vrata for a devotee? If you go and see many ashrams, people do Mauna Vratas. What is Mauna Vrata for a devotee? Mauna Vrata for a devotee means speaking only Krishna conscious. It is not literal sense that I don't speak anything. We don't believe that. Mauna Vrata for a devotee means I will only speak Krishna consciousness. Wait, whole day from morning 6 a.m. to the next day morning 6 a.m. I'm going to have Mauna Vrata, which means I will not do one prajalpa, I will not do one lie, I will not do one gossip, I will not do one backbiting, I will not do one fault finding, I will only simply glorify Krishna. That's Mauna Vrata. So our principle of righteousness is what pleases the Lord. If Lord is pleased, everything is, right. If the Lord is not pleased, even if you are worshipping Him, then that's not right. Am I making sense, Prabhu?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay. Any other comments, questions?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, thank you for a wonderful class. I would like to share one of the incidents which happened last year, I guess. One of my son's friends, he is the best runner, one of the best runner. He's a very disciplined boy and very consistent, and he works hard. So he always used to be the topper in the running race. So what happened one time? Like one of the boys in the running race, he fell down. So, in spite of him being so competitive or whatever, right? Like it's natural for kids to be more competitive and they want to win the race always. So he chose to stop and help that guy who fell down in large group of people. And he was I can't remember clearly whether he won the race or not, but my son told me about this incident, and I was so surprised. I was so amazed that then I thought, okay, he is the real winner, even though he didn't win the race materially. You also told the exam before you told the example. I suddenly remembered that incident. So I was thinking about that boy, my son's friend. Then you after that you quoted that incident, and that really touched my heart. And I was thinking, okay, what is the true what is the true success? So I just wanted to share that incident. And I feel that like that boy, like kids, not everyone is studying Vedas or everything, but it's reminding me that you learn always something from everyone and try to apply in our lives. I don't know if I was also thinking in that time, if I was in the race, I don't know if I would help the other guy or be more selfish and win the race. I was thinking that. So I just want to share that incident, Prabhuji. Thank you for wonderful class, Prabhuji.
Thank you
And
so
what
much for
Pranam
sharing.
Prabhuji.
Thank you so much for sharing. And the essence of all the learning is uh, we put it in practice. Falena parichiyate. If your conduct, if your character is noble, then you are a learned person. If your character is compromised, what is the value of all your learnings? So wonderful. We hope that by continuously hearing Srimad Bhagavatam, by glorifying Krishna, yasyasti bhakti, bhagavati akinchana, sarvair gunair tatra samasate suraha. All the good qualities of the demigods will manifest in that person who is glorifying the Supreme Lord. So when we regularly read Srimad Bhagavatam, we are confident that one day we will get to that stage of acquiring all the qualities of the demigods and we will also be righteous. Thank you so much.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. This is Geeta. I have a very quick question, Prabhuji.
Sure.
Prabhuji, thank you very much for this wonderful class as always, and hopefully we'll see you more often. I wanted to ask you, I've heard this, that it's in our scriptures that, especially in Kali Yuga, that if one speaks the truth always, one can have God realization. Is that true?
It's part of dharma. If you speak dharma, you are protected always. Yes, but the point is we should need to define truth. What is truth? Truth is you glorify God. Truth is you please the Lord. Truth is you stay righteous. Truth is that there is a very famous saint in Tamil Nadu called Thiruvalluvar. I'm not sure how many of you know him. So he says, Poimayum Vaimayidatu Puraitirnda Nanmai Payakumenin. Meaning, use what is called truth is that by which, for example, I am having I'm having a threat from a thief, and I am coming and having a hideout in your house that I am trying to save myself from the thief. Otherwise, he would attack me and kill me. And the thief come and ask you, did this guy go via your place? Did you see him? At that time, telling him that no, I didn't see, is equally considered as truthful only. So there are a lot of details to the truth, but the point is, by and large, we should make sure that keep it simple and sweet to please Krishna. In Krishna consciousness, there are so many examples. Dacoits, devotees. There's a Alvar called Thirumangai Alvar. He was a dacoit. He used to steal for Krishna. Extraordinary devotees are there, but general circumstances are that when we speak truth, in this case, truth means always reciting Vedic literature. So we are definitely going to get all the blessings, because the heart is going to be soft, and Krishna like soft things only. That is why he is butter thief. He's not stealing anything else. He likes to steal butter. So soft things is his favorite. Let's keep our heart soft. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Beautiful. Hare Krishna.
Any other questions, comments? If not, we'll stop here. Okay. Thank you.
Let's Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Again, thank you so much, Dandavat Pranam. Thank you so much for such a nectarian class. Let's offer our respectful obeisances to all the senior Vaishnavas. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha कृपा सिंधुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की
जय
नामाचार्य श्रीला हरिदास ठाकुर
की
जय
श्रीला प्रभुपाद की
की
जय
जय
His Grace Ram Giridhari Prabhu ji ki jai.
जय
All the assembled devotees ki jai. Hare
जय
Krishna.
Hare
Thank you,
Krishna.
Prabhuji. Hare
Thank you,
Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much,
Hare
Prabhuji.
Bol.
for next
Hare
class.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Bol.